Hi, I'm Shannon Pinniger, rhymes with vinegar with a P as in pickle, and I'm a volunteer for DRA 8 in Alabama. And if you're watching this, I'm going to show you how to use that Excel sheet to check for gaps and missing classes that would help fulfill a gap. So if you're watching this, there's two ways you can do this. I will attach the Excel sheet so that you can open it up in the Excel program and work it yourself. There's also a Google Doc that has that Excel on it. Now with the Google Doc, only one person can be using it at a time because that's a shared document. But with that standalone Excel attachment, you can use that anytime. And so I'm going to show it through the Google Doc. So you're going to get a link that looks like this right here. And you can click it, but I'm going to copy it and put it in a different browser that doesn't recognize who I am. I'm pasting it in. And it'll look like this. And this first page is hopefully what it lands on, but if it doesn't, you can just click it at the bottom where it says instructions start here. So just click it to this. And you'll see instructions. 3 main steps. So for the first step, you would go to input course and input the courses. Now, before I show you how to do that, I want to show you a unique feature of how it'll look using a specific list of classes. So I already have courses input in here, and I want to check for the fulfilled gap. So I'm moving to this check for fulfilled gap. Specifically for this example, I'm looking at DAT. So notice that there's 2 columns here that are very similar but slightly different. And you're going to see this happen for specific reasons. In this one, it says courses fulfilled excluding lesser courses. So if you're training to be DAT service associate, you have to complete that DAT specialist in order to have that DAT service associate. And you'll see on this one, it says yes for service associate and no for specialist. But over here, you'll see no on both because this one is including those lesser gaps. So the person is no under specialist, but if you look over here, they're only no under service associate because they're no under specialist. And so you might be trying to figure out, well, what's going on? And so because this is DAT, I'm going to move to the check DAT courses for gap. I want to see why. And you can see it right here. They did not complete that DAT response fundamentals class. That is usually taken longer for them to complete because, as you know, it's not pre-recorded. But they have completed all other service associate classes and specialist classes. So that's the only thing closing them down. So when you see that a gap is not fulfilled, you can actually go and see, well, what class is missing that's causing this problem. So going back to the instructions. I wanted to show you that example because that is a specific example where that fundamentals is missing. But we're going to start from the beginning now. So first, I want to look someone up. I'm going to import the courses. And so I'm going to go to their transcript. And I already have someone who allowed me to use their courses. I got their permission. And so here I am under Edge transcript. I'm just going to highlight here and scroll all the way to the bottom of the transcript. And so I'm going to end right here. And it really doesn't matter on this last line how much you highlight as long as you have that last class name highlighted. The rest of it is irrelevant. So I copied all those classes and I'm going to go back to the Google Sheet. I'm going to go to input courses, and this is the only sheet where you are actually adding the information. So I'm going to start right here. You don't want to cover this up. Start on 3A. You can paste the course name if you want. That's not a big deal. It's just going to read all the courses in your column A. So I'm going to paste it right now, and I am hitting Control V if I have a Windows or Command V if I have a Mac. Now you'll notice that there are these black lines here. That's just pasting that way because if you would go back to the other one, notice how there's gray rows. So it's just recognizing that. It's not a big deal. The classes are still there. If you didn't do anything, it would be fine. As you can see, things are still input. However, just to make it easier, I am going to change that fill color, not the A, but the fill one, the little paint bucket, to white. And now I can see all the classes. And that's just so I can read it. But it doesn't change anything in the Excel sheet. So we have classes here. I'm going to go to check for fulfilled gap. Now you'll see once again, we're seeing the same problem. Specialist is missing, service associate is yes, supervisor is no. So let's see what's going on. And this person actually has a lot of things filled. So I want to check what's going on. So it says that they have not done that response fundamentals. Well, that's strange because I know they have. So I already know they had DAT response fundamentals, but this is a good example of how you can make a mistake. So what I did is I want to go back to that transcript and look, I just did not highlight DAT response fundamentals this first class. I highlighted everything but. So I'm going to go back. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste it right at the bottom because I forgot to highlight it. So there it is. Turn it white so you can see it. See, it's right there. Now I'm only doing that because I forgot to highlight it right here, right? I started over here instead of over here. This is one reason you might want to start with that course name so you don't miss that first class. And like I said, it doesn't matter if that's copied in there twice. So we have this all in here. Now, if I just wanted to fix it again fully, instead of going back, I'll just highlight it all again, starting from that course name. Command or Control C, going back to the Excel sheet, pasting it right here, Command or Control V. Once again, it doesn't matter that that course name is on there twice, but this time, see, I pasted everything. So I'm going to go back to check fulfilled gap. Now I see yes and yes and yes and yes. So if I go to DAT, all those yeses are there. And to double check, this is the line that you can see where that class is listed if I go to import courses. So I want to see, oh, where is disaster reaction fundamentals? It says 4. If I go to import courses and go to row 4, there it is right there. So that's just telling you where it was pasted so you can check it. Now, let's go to their next one. You'll notice that they do not have feeding or sheltering or distribution. Now, what's funny is I know that they have some of this as well. So I'm going to go to checking shelter. Notice they have everything but pet etiquette and awareness. So pet etiquette and awareness is a new class that's just been added. So I added it onto this sheet, but I know this person got trained before it was a requirement. So I can easily tell, oh, okay, they have this, it's fine. And they have the extras. They don't have the supervisor condition or classes. Also notice how there's something yellow here and something yellow here. It says right here. So this replaced the supervision and disaster relief operation supervision classes. So what that means when it's yellow is if this was yes, if they had completed the supervising the disaster workforce, then it would count as yes. Now they also haven't done performance evaluation, so I can't show you because I would also have to add that class. But let's say they did do that, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just going to lie and put this in a course as if they took it. Go back and do it with this one. And you wouldn't want to do this. I'm just doing this to show you what would happen if they did have these two courses there. So now, when you go to shelter, you'll see they have yes here. Oh, I forgot this. The disaster evaluation, they'll have this right here. I'm going to also add that supervisor. There we go. So they should have all yeses. Dang it. Where they need it. And remember, you wouldn't do this. I'm just trying to show you. Here they have yeses right here, yeses right here, and they have this as a yes. So even though these two are no, this is replacing that. So now if you go to check for fulfilled gap, you will see here they have supervisor sheltering right here. Now they still don't have it over here because I didn't fill in those classes under service associate, which would specifically be that pet awareness class. Like I said, that was added. So the point is, for this thing, you can just go and check. So if you see a no, you can go see, oh, well, what classes are they missing? Are they on their way to it? Here's distribution. Same idea here. That pet etiquette and awareness class has been added, so he's no on that, but we know he has his other classes, so that's the only one he would have to complete now to get that gap. And so this is available for DES, feeding, and sheltering, and the DAT. Notice you move the arrow here to scroll through. Like I said before, the only sheet you will be pasting or manipulating will be this import courses sheet. And you will be pasting that from the transcript. Now, if you see courses already in here, you don't want to delete anything. But what you want to do is you highlight them. And there's a clear content option. And this would also be, it's clear rows on the Microsoft sheet. It's clear content under Excel. You want to clear. You don't want to delete anything because if you delete the rows, it's really going to mess up the formulas. So just clear the rows, and then that will clear the classes so that you can fill in the new classes for the new person. Okay, and so hopefully that resolves everything. Now what I said was also in this instruction sheet right here. So you input your courses, highlight it under Edge Curriculum, and copy the courses and paste them into A2 or A3. Then you go to check for fulfilled gap. That would be this one right here to see what gaps have been completed. Then if you notice there's a no under the gap and that's one that you're looking for, you go to check that specific gap courses for gaps. So check DAT courses, check sheltering, check DES, check feeding. Those are the only ones available right now. If you would like other ones, I can add that as well. And wherever there's that no means that they have not completed that course or it has not been pasted into that input course. Like I made that mistake the first time. So I did just go check. Oh, was it actually in the transcript and I forgot to paste it? In my case, it was. But as long as you pasted it all, that will usually mean they didn't complete it. All right, if you have any questions or you would like anything added, here's my email. And you can contact me at either of those email addresses. So have a great day. Hopefully this helps. Bye.